Hey, thanks for stopping in. This video is a continuation from my previous video on the law of marketing from the book, The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing by Al Ries and Jack Trout. In today's video though, I'll be continuing and moving on to the second law. The second law is the law of category. Hey, Mark Johnson here, founder and creative director of Able Ape Studios, back again with another vlog. And like I mentioned, I'm talking about the second law of marketing, which is the law of category. But first, if you end up liking this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing with the channel, please subscribe. And if you end up having a comment, question, or anything you'd like to share based on this video, leave that in the comment box below. Love to start a conversation and maybe a little back and forth. And then lastly, if you want to be notified whenever I'm dropping a new video, definitely ring that bell. So let's get back into it. As I mentioned, I'll be talking about the law of category, which is the second law in the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing by Al Ries and Jack Trout. If you missed that first video, I'll definitely leave a link in the description box below, or you can just click here. So, what is this law of category? In the book, The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing, it states, if you can't be first in a category, set up a new category you can be first in. And why is this so important, or why is this the reason why they're having you try to position yourself in a new category? It is as simple as everyone is interested in what is new, and a few people are interested in what is better. So what they're saying is that people are just looking for the next new thing. Let's just be real. People are looking for the next new thing, and as much as your product may be an improvement or better than what came before them, a lot of times the majority of people are going to pass it on by, because it's not new, it's not flashy, and it's not exciting. It's not as exciting. So if you can position yourself in a new category and be first in that category, people are going to be a little more interested in it and recognize it for that. So in a sense, if you're launching a new product, and when speaking of this idea of leadership, which was the previous law, you want to understand that first is going to get it. And if you can position yourself in a new category where you can be first, or you still become first, people are going to recognize you. An example of this is like the example they used for the law of leadership. We talked about the first person to fly across the Atlantic Ocean, right? That was Charles Lindbergh. For many people, they didn't know who the second person was, which happened to be Bert Hinkler. The third person, do you happen to know who the third person was? Well, the third person is Amelia Earhart. And so that little switch right there is example of what the authors are talking about. As much as Amelia Earhart was the third person to fly the Atlantic, she becomes more known than the second person because she's a woman. You know what I'm saying? So she's put in a different category. Not because she's a woman, but because she's in a different category than the men who'd flown it. And this is not a sexist thing. This is just kind of an example of how to explain. Just switch it up and put yourself in a new category so you can become first. A furthermore distinction of this can be said, as the book states, that when you're first in a new category, you should promote the category as in essence you have no competition. So what it's saying here is that as much as you want to position yourself first, that's not what you want to promote to your customer or your prospect. You want to promote the category, the new category that you're in, because that's what's gonna catch them more in a sense than just being a shift from where you were. So since you don't want to, so being first in that new category means you have no competition. So in a sense, you can just promote solely the fact that this is a new category that there's no competition in. So for those products who have been around for a while, this is a great way to reinvent themselves, put themselves in a new category that has not been around, so that you can be first in it. And in that way, being first allows you to draw the attention of a new customer, an old customer, or someone who didn't even know that you had a product out, but now that they know that you're first in this new category, you got them. So my point here with this marketing idea of category, or sharing this marketing idea of category, is to help people think differently. Thinking differently about your product, your brand, or even your category that your service may be in. To leave you another example of what this law of category looks like, the example, let's talk about beer. For a while there, Heineken was the first imported beer. Okay? But as much as there's imported beer, why couldn't there be the first domestic beer? And the first imported domestic beer was Michelob. And lastly, to bring this point home, the first light beer that was imported was Miller Lite. The first domestic beer, because they switched the category, gave you a different category, was Amstel Light, because it was the first light imported beer. So if you follow me, those are the examples that are showing you how just to kind of change the category, become first in a new category that gives you no competition, that gives you the top of mind of the prospect, and also gives you the excitement of being new. So hope this information has been helpful to you in some way. If it has, definitely give this video a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing on the channel, please subscribe. And if you have a comment, a question, maybe something like you'd like to add on to what I said about the law of the category, definitely leave me a comment in the comment box below. Love to start back and forth. And lastly, make sure to ring that bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming content. So, like we always do at this time, have a blessed day. I'll see you on the flip side. Let's go.